Welcome back to Kelly's Creations. I am going to try something today that I've never done, but I watched some other videos, specifically Tina Sacco over at TSR Creations. Phenomenal artist. You need to go and check her out. Um, and I have worked with resin as far as covering my paintings, but I've never worked with it as an art medium itself, other than in big projects like I redid my bathroom counter, and it now looks like wood grain. Um, so what I'm going to do is I have taken these, which are the letters of my daughter's name, and I have, of course, painted the back, taped up the backs. And what I've done is I've taken the Rust-Oleum Forged Hammer Paint and Primer in the antique pewter, and I have painted the surfaces, the edges, and the sides so that it's all ready, everything but the back. And I'm going to mix up my resin. I was going to do it off camera, and I always use KS resin. I was going to mix it up off camera, but I got the coolest thing in the mail that I ordered, and I really want you guys to be able to see it. So let me set this up, and then I'll bring you right back. Okay, I've measured my resin, but I have not yet begun to stir it. This is a item I picked up off of Etsy by, I believe it's Wood Creations by Mike. I'll post the pic. He no longer, it looks like he sold out of the singles. I'm not sure if he's going to continue to do that, but he does have the double to mix this, double cup, so you can mix two resins at one time. So let me go ahead and just turn it on, and my resin begins to mix. The only thing that I will do is hold it here a little bit closer so that it really gets the edges. And I've got two sticks so that they're down on the bottom. Okay, and I will let that run. The only other thing that I will do is to make sure my sides are completely brought in, and the bottom is I will stick another small stick in there when I'm doing it, not continuously because it doesn't need that. And I've used this several times now. And when I'm not using it, I will just scrape it off back into the sides. Okay, so again, I'm going to stick you on hold because I want to have this go ahead and work through. With KS resin, anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes. These are smaller cups that I'm using, so you can see against my hand. I believe these are, hang on, I've got it right here. These are 5-ounce cups. And what I've done is I filled them, there are little grooved edges, and I filled each one to the first line, the first bracket, combined the two, and then I put it in here. And just occasionally, and I prefer to use two sticks, and he sends just one, and his instructions only call for one. I just prefer it this way. And you can see the resin is mixing in there. It's mixing very well. So give me about 3 minutes while this is mixing up. I'll pull the rest of my materials together and we'll take a look. The only thing I will say is the colors I'm going to use today are all golden fluid acrylics, teal, blue lagoon. I'm going to use micaceous iron oxide, which has got a nice metallic tilt to it. I have got cerulean blue chromium. And the last color, of course, is going to be titanium white. So give me just a minute and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. It's instant for you, but actually several minutes for me. What I want to do initially is take this and just cover it in clear. And I'm only mixing up my resin one part at a time for each of the letters that I'm going to make. Okay. And I do want to move this around so that it covers the entire area. See if I can get this. Nope, has to come back my way. What a change. Okay. Used to having to set my camera up in ways that are for my rounds or my paintings, so I don't usually get to work really close with this. I'm going to go ahead here and finish this up, put on my respirator, and I'm not sure how much talking I'm going to do after then because I'm not really sure that you're going to be able to hear me. So give me just a couple minutes and then I will be right back. Okay, I said just another second. Always, always when you're working with resin, wear a good respirator. In addition, I wear long sleeves, my apron, and always long pants. I have a permanent scar on my thigh where I thought it would be okay to do a resin piece that I was working on, and just a drip of it hit my thigh. Well, I'm sensitive to it, and I have a permanent scar from a chemical burn. So if you're going to use this, please, please, please make sure that you check your manufacturer's precautions and use every one. We'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I'm not sure if you can understand me. I hope so, but if not, this is the best I can do. I don't want to resin without a respirator, especially when I'm going to be using a heat gun or a torch. Make sure this is all covered here on the sides. Some things just won't do like the hand. I want to make sure I've got everything on the inside covered as well. Now what I'm going to do is remove my gloves, because I'm going to, and I do go through several pairs of gloves when I resin, as I need to have some clean gloves here. Let me try my smaller ones. When I'm going to resin, I like to wear the black ones because they come up further on my wrist than what the traditional gloves do. And I want this, put the resin on this first because I wanted it to have time to set up. So let me finish getting my gloves on, and we're going to move this up here out of the way. The rule that I have read on resin to color is no more than 10% color. So I'm going to, there's little lines that are on these cups that I can see. All right, and I am going to want to, I think, reserve a little bit. So I'm going to make, well, I'm not going to need a lot of color. The resin should actually move very well. So I want to reserve part of that. So if I need it, I have it. Okay, and try and level this out so that they're just about even. One of the nice things about using the fluid acrylics as well is that you don't need as much because they are so much more fluid. All right, stick. Okay, let's start off with the titanium white. Make sure that it's shaken up. Okay, I put in 10 drops, and you can see how white that is. Mix that up real well. Okay, we're going to set that one aside. Cerulean blue. Okay, I actually got 12 drops in there, but oh well. Nice color. Okay, that one's ready. the micaceous iron oxide. Okay, 10 drops. Okay. And because I'm using the fluid acrylics, it leaves me a lot more space on that 1 to 10 rule, and so I can get that done. Well, it would help if I had opened it, wouldn't it? I don't like to open them completely because I can be a ham with heavy-handed. Okay, 10 drops. Nice. Look at that color. All right. Again, I'm going to change my gloves because unfortunately I've got 4 puppy dogs that are outside, and I live in the northeast corner of Tennessee where we got snow for Christmas. Yay! I'm from Michigan. I moved here to get away from it. Give me just a moment here and we will be right back. I'm back. I'm finished. What I'm going to do now is I am simply going to allow this to rest, let it cure, and overnight at any rate. And then tomorrow I will come back and apply a flood coat to it so that everything is nice and covered, and no open areas. So from the foothills of the Smoky Mountains, I'm praying that you're all happy, healthy, and safe. And until the next time, well, and I'll add a clip at the end of this. Um, I'll come back tomorrow, show you the flood coat, and show you the whole finished project. So see you soon. Hey gang, welcome back to Kelly's Creations. Okay, today I'm going to put the flood coat on this, but what I wanted to do before I started is I know a lot of people don't work with resin, and this is only and I thought it was my first, but this is only my second ever project in working with resin as a fluid art. My first one was I made a new countertop for my bathroom. That was with a completely different kind of resin. And I'd done it so long ago I forgot about it. So before we started, some essentials that you need to absolutely have on hand when you work with resin. The first is you need a good respirator. You need one dealing for fumes and not just particulates because of the VOCs that some of these resins can put off. Do not work with resin without a respirator. It can be hazardous to your health. For my setup and other things, I do not touch my pieces with my hands because I don't want to have any divots appear on the resin. My first piece that I did yesterday over in here, let's see, I have a couple places that are open, but that's because I overused the heat gun. The flood coat will cover that and will be good. So luckily it's not something that I have to seriously worry about. The second pieces and the third piece that I did were all great. What I did then is I have a plastic shelving unit that I've wrapped in plastic, put them level, and I've made sure everything is absolutely spot on level. It has to be level with resin because resin is self-leveling. So if you're off, it's going to slide right off whatever you're working on. The other things that I do is I'll use these when I'm doing setup or when I'm doing the initial mixing, but when I'm working on my resin itself, I use, and these are just 3M, what are these called? Gee whiz. 3 mil gloves. When I'm working with resin, I work with 9 mil gloves, and one of the reasons is you can see how short this is compared to when I put on this. So this versus this, okay, comes up much higher on the wrist. The second thing that I now do, because I am, I think, allergic, or at least I have very sensitive skin. Like I said yesterday, I have a permanent scar on my thigh from one drop of resin hitting it. I work in long sleeves. I work in the 9 mil gloves. I work in full-length pants, and I have my apron on top of that. Additionally, because I shed as badly as my dogs do, and I'm a nurse, so this is where I learned about it, I buy surgical scrub caps, okay? These slide on my head. I put it up in a ponytail. They slide up on my head, and then I can pull it tight like this so that my hair stays all underneath. I don't want any hair in my resin. Belle, knock it off. Sorry, my 4-month-old German Shepherd's being a butthead. Hang on just a second. Okay, sorry. The roads are icy here, so he can't get out and go for a walk, so he's being a bit of a butthead because he's got all this energy. The other thing I do is I buy these bowl covers from the dollar store because resin gets into everything. If I'm working with my heat gun, I take them and I wrap around the trigger and the handle. Today I don't need my heat gun, I'll just be using my torch, so I've taken that and it's wrapped all the way around here where I'm going to grip it, as well as on the point where I am going to push the trigger to get it started. And then I tape it so it's not going to move. So this way, I ruined a torch with working with resin doing coverings when just putting flood layers on top of paintings. And the trigger no longer works because it got frozen up with resin. So what I've done is I just buy these. I get 10 of them for $1 and wrap everything up. When I'm done, I'll put on another set of 3 ml gloves, take everything apart, throw it all away. Good to go. My items are safe. So give me just a minute here. I am going to mix up probably about, for all 3 of these, probably about 7 or 8 ounces of resin because I want a very good flood coat on this. Give me just a minute and we will be right back and we'll get going on that. And I will have my respirator on, so it may be hard to understand me, but I'll do my best. Hey, sorry about that. I forgot one other thing. Because my skin is so sensitive, I also buy these cooling sleeves and put them up over my shirt, and then they will tuck down inside my gloves, making sure that I have no skin that's going to stick out when I'm working with the resin. Not bad. I think it was like $8 for 4 sets over on Amazon, so you can go and check them out. There's the name of the company I bought. It's not a big deal. I have no idea if the others are better or not. I thought I'd try cheap to start with, and they're working. So I mean, I resined yesterday. There were some drops that got onto this, and it never reached my skin. So just another safety tip that you might want to try. close-up of them before I put them into the drying rack. That's a piece that I did last night. I made this from a Stanley insulated coffee cup and took the extra resin, put that on a tile. That's all sealed. Now I'm going to use it on my stove as a rest for my spoons. And here is all right. So for you guys, it'll be instant. For me, it'll be tomorrow night after work. And I'll come back and we'll do the demasking and setting it up. So after I demask it, it's still going to, well, I'm not going to demask it, but I'm going to go ahead and check it. And I will hang on to this video, add a clip next 3-4 days, and let you know. And we'll come back and do the demasking so you can see how easy that is. Takes a lot of prep, but it saves an awful lot of sanding afterwards. So we'll see you then. Hey gang, welcome back. Okay, I got my other pieces put in the drying rack, and what I've decided to do is rather than take a whole lot of time, this is the piece that I made last night. It's put on a 2x4, I guess, 2x4 tile. It was just using up the resin that I had used to make my cup. And what I'm going to do is just very quickly show you how to demask it and have it ready and how easy this really is. I have had a lot of people tell me that they don't tape the back of theirs. Initially, I didn't either, but oh Lord, that was such a nightmare for me because I'd have to take my razor and cut the edges off and then try and cut off all these. It was just a nightmare. So watching another artist, and I'm not even sure who it was now, take your heat gun that you worked with, slowly run around the edges. That little bit of time is really all you need. And then the only thing that I'm going to use my razor for is to help me lift that edge to start. And then it literally peels off. If it doesn't, the tape is still there. Get my razor knife underneath that tape and off it comes. So I'll use my razor knife to start. And you saw how quickly I ran that heat gun over it. Just enough to barely, hit that resin and make it pick up and start again. One of the important things is when you put and this is just painter's tape from the dollar store. It's nothing expensive. Every once in a while, if I can catch 3M on sale, I'll pick that up, but I'm not going to go to a whole bunch of expense. The one area where my tape did not cover, take my razor knife. That's it. The most important thing is when you put your tape down, you take a popsicle stick and you go all around those edges and make sure that they're really good and sealed. So, I'm not going to come back and show you the demasking of the other pieces because this basically covers it. On the back, I did the same on the BMG. The only difference was I take a cutting board that I have here. Again, dollar store, not a big deal. And when I do it, I lay my piece down and I take this knife and I cover it in the tape. Then I cut around every single edge. So that was a pain in the neck to do the BMH because there's so many edges. And then again, flip it over. All you see is the back side. There's nothing in between. And I ran my popsicle stick all over it, ready to go. So from the foothills of the Smoky Mountains, I'm praying that you're all happy, healthy, and safe. And until the next time, bye-bye.